Hey, man, great to see you. We go way back, all right, going back to the 80s when he was in town coming out of Clemson. Congratulations on the honor of being inducted into the Ring of Honor. How does that feel?
I mean, thanks for having me, Lou. In terms of being honored and humble to be selected in the Chicago Bulls Hall of Fame, man. You know, Michael and Scottie's already there. And, you know, with me, well, myself, John Paxson, Bill Cartwright, Neil Funk, Chet Walker, Johnny Bach, it's breathtaking, man. It's such an honor. And I thank the Chicago Bulls every day.
On behalf of all the Bulls fans out there, thank you. I mean, and you hear that often, don't you? You come back to Chicago, you love coming back to this city because you were so embraced.
Since 1987, when I got off that plane here in Chicago, the fans and the city have welcomed me with open arms, man. And to help win the first 3 championships, man, it was just more love.
Why do you think? Yeah, I told you just before I came to you came here to the studio, and I told you I was going to interview you. I had some guys say, "Is he going to be wearing the goggles?" What was it about Horace Grant and Chicago that worked, and Bulls fans that worked?
Well, if you know anything about Chicago, Chicago is just a no-nonsense, hard-working people type of city, and that's what I brought. You know, I brought that lunch bucket, hard hat type of work ethic, and I think we just mesh just like this.
I remember when you came to town and you and Scottie were inseparable. You guys were best friends.
Still is. We talk almost every week, sometimes twice a week, just about, you know, what you're doing and how you're doing, and we talk about the game today compared to the game when we played, you know, just my best friend.
Yeah, for sure. And as your best friend, do you ever, I mean, sometimes, man, he's so negative, and he goes after MJ. Why is he so bitter with MJ?
I don't know why he's bitter. I wouldn't say bitter. Some of the things that he said, I told him, man, you know, chill with that. Yeah, chill. We have such a great relationship that I could go to him and say, man, that's too much. And, you know, he'll be, you know, a little grumpy. Scott, no, yo, dog, that's a little bit too much. So, and, you know, Scott is his own person, but I think at our age now,
Is he going to chill?
he should.
He should. Horace needs to tell him to chill. Because you guys were family. You guys brought the first 3 championships. You, Scottie, Michael, Pax, Bill Cartwright.
Yes.
I mean, you guys brought such joy to Bulls fans. So truthfully, I get it. Scottie's outspoken. I know Scottie. But I think it hurts Bulls fans when they hear him talk negatively about Michael.
Well, I think just when he says things, you know, Scott is a very emotional person. When he say things to a certain degree to negative about MJ, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because, you know, without MJ, there's no Pip. Without Pip, there's no MJ. Without the role players, I don't think we win the first 3 championships.
All right, I want you to talk to me about Phil Jackson, because I remember when Phil used to ride this guy. But, and be honest with me, Horace, his wisdom, his teaching moments back then helped you as a man, didn't they?
Absolutely. You know, there's not one negative thing I could ever say about Phil Jackson. I remember him calling me in his office quite a few times. The first time it was telling me, Horace, you know, I'm gonna lean on you this year. I'm like, you know, yeah, I have no problem with that. He said, but because I can't yell at Scottie or Michael, but I'm gonna be talking to them through you. I said, you know, that's no problem. I didn't realize it was gonna be for 7 years. I thought it was gonna be 1 year.
Right.
But he taught me how to become the best role player I can possibly be. He was like, you know, shoot the jumper if you're out the open, but we want you to play defense and rebound. You do those things, we'll win. Yeah. So,
And sure enough, you guys did.
yeah. Listen, he brought me into his office one time. He said, Horace, we're going to draft a young man who's going to be a threat to your job. They were drafting Stacy.
Yeah.
And I said, Phil, I shook his hand. I said, thank you for being honest. Man, I never worked out so hard that summer with Al Vermeil, the strength coach back then. Never worked out. And I said to myself, if Stacy's gonna come in and challenge me for my job, if he wins, he's the better person for my position. But it's not gonna be easy. But we had some battles, and unfortunately, you know, I kept my position.
Attaboy. I need to tell you this because I've thought about it since you were in Chicago and I was doing the Bulls, back on the radio and TV back in the early 90s, and you left. And it was crushing for me as someone who worked in the media but who was part of the Bulls family because I knew you were so important to what the Bulls were trying to accomplish. And I will never forget standing there with Neil Funk, all right, Game 6, you're wearing an Orlando Magic uniform with the goggles, and you guys knock MJ and the Bulls out of the playoffs. The first playoff series Michael Jordan had ever lost. And I remember you being on the shoulders of your teammates, Shaq, Penny Hardaway, Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott. Do you remember that moment when you guys knocked MJ and the Bulls out of the playoffs? Michael had just come back, remember? Right. He had come back, played his first game in Indiana, but you guys beat the Bulls in that 7-game series in 6 games. Do you remember that moment?
Of course I do. Whenever you beat guys like Michael and Scottie in a series, of course you're going to remember that. And, you know, I look at the team that I was on with a young Shaq, a Penny Hardaway, Nick Anderson, who's from Chicago, a three-point shooter like Dennis Scott. I felt very, very proud of that team, and I felt that we could, if anybody could beat that Chicago Bulls team, that we could.
All right, I want you to be honest with me here. Did you follow the money to Orlando, or did Horace Grant need to get out of the shadow of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen?
No. I followed, it was a business decision, strictly business. And to get out of Michael and Scottie's shadow, I only had to put on the goggles. I became Horace Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah. But throughout my career, Lou, I played with MJ Pip. I played with Shaq Penny, Shaq Kobe, Gary Payton out in Seattle for that 1 year. I always been in the shadow. I love it. I absolutely love it. And when I go and do my job, and I know how important I am to each team I play for.
You know, you don't leave, there's no Dennis Rodman here in Chicago. And you might win 3 more championships. Any regrets about not being around for those 3 other championships?
Well, I went on a journey. My journey took me to play with some great
Sure.
Hall of Famer players. But if I had known Michael was coming back, I probably would have stayed. I probably would have stayed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Talk to me about your television series, Legends in Session, where you'll be sitting down with your former teammates, Charles Oakley, who was just in studio with us, Stacey King, Scottie. Tell me about it. How did it come about? Why do you want to do this?
Well, I'm 60 years old. This has been in the making for almost a year, and I got some great producers, some great behind-the-scene guys who put this together. It's not going to be like a podcast or anything like. It's going to be more like a TV series. The question's going to be asked about their youth. How did they fall in love with the game? What are you doing now? And of course about ex-teammates, the 80s and 90s basketball compared to the NBA today.
Talk to me. How do you think the NBA is today compared to when you played in the game?
Well, I can say it's a lot softer now. I think the talent is so great now. I mean, I was watching Victor Wembanyama. How can someone 7'5" can handle the ball like that and shoot threes? The talent level is great. I just wish the NBA was a little more physical. I mean, not the Detroit type or New York physical, but bring some hand checking back. Just play just a little bit more physical basketball.
You know, I talked to Charles Oakley about that as well. And Oak.
Yeah.
I mean, Oak actually fed off that physical type play, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And I say to people all the time, he was my mentor here in Chicago. Man, we used to battle in practice, and I think that I got the respect for him because he used to kick my butt almost every day, but I never backed down. And when he went to the Knicks, man, it was some wars. And I tell people this, with Ewing, Oak, and Anthony Mason, I used to go home and put ice in a bath and fill it up with water and just sit in and pray, man. It was just that physical.
Horace, if you think about it, you actually were the reason why Jerry traded Oak to the Knicks.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a shock to me, to be honest, to be very transparent. It was a shock. And when they told me they had traded Oak, and my heart dropped, I'm like, damn, I'm the starting power forward now. And you can ask Al Vermeil if you ever run into him. Man, I have never worked so damn hard in my life to get physically strong because I knew that the Bulls were going to depend on me to try to fill Oak's shoes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I know that you still work alongside Michael Reinsdorf.
Yes.
Special assistant. What do you think of this year's Bulls? Kobe White, Josh Giddey, Modest Bazelis.
Listen, the Bulls got the core. They're young, they're hungry, they got the passion for the game, and they're going up and down like this. Barring from injury, I think they can be a top 3 or 4 team.
Really?
Yes. Barring from injury.
Right.
That plays a big part of with any team. But they got that nucleus, man. I love watching them. Absolutely. In a couple of games, they should have won. They should be number 1 in the East right now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. They'll let a couple of games go. Let me give you a wrap-up. Where are the goggles?
They're at home in my drawer. I still got the original pair, and I haven't washed them.
Come on.
Seriously. They stink like the devil, but they still got the little black thing around them, and they're sitting right there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, man, always great to see you.
Thank you, Lou.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
Horace.
Thank you.